Hi, this is Corey Close with this week's version of Coach's Corner. So glad you're with us. This week we're talking about how do you stay focused in the offseason as a player or as a coach. I actually had a great conversation with a great coach at the University of Virginia, Joanne Boyle, and she talked just yesterday to me about reinventing yourself every offseason. How do you reinvent yourself to keep yourself invigorated, growing, stimulated, challenged? And I think that's a really big piece as a coach and as a player. So when Coach Wooden was here at UCLA, he used to have everybody on their staff pick an area they were going to become an expert on in the offseason. So maybe it was passing, maybe it was rebounding. And their whole offseason, they were studying that area, talking to other coaches, really fueling their development as a coach in that particular area. And that not only made their team better, their coaching staff better, but I think it really kept them motivated in the offseason, focused in, dialed in, which I think really carried them through a long year. As a player, what that looks like is, okay, what do you want to add to your toolbox? I mean, how are you going to be different? I remember sitting in my college coach's office and having him give me 2 or 3 goals that he wanted me to really try to master over that offseason. And he would say, okay, you're going to really be a great pick and roll player when you come back. Or you're going to really work on your communication, being a proactive communicator. And giving me that little bit narrow focus and really picturing what I wanted to be different in my toolbox when I started practice the next year really kept me motivated as a player. So I think, what is your greater yes? You know, I think there are a lot of no's in the world. And what it can do is it can get us off track. And what I mean by that is, let's say I'm tired today, I'm burnt out today, or the season seems so far, or I just need a break, or God's working my last nerve. But what is your greater yes? How bad do you want that? How do you see? See, I think you will always succumb to the no if your yes is not greater. So for me, I want to be a better coach. When our players report back for summer access, or we're going to Australia this August, when they report back for training camp, I want to be different for them. That is my greater yes that keeps me motivated throughout the offseason. I want to be able to lead us to a different level. And I think you have to have a stronger, greater yes if you want to be able to fight the temptations and the no's that are bound to come our way. You know, your commitments have to be greater than your feelings. And the commitment can be substituted as your greater yes, because we all will have feelings that we don't feel like it that day, or we're tired, or we're not motivated, or we're frustrated, fill in the blank. And usually that overtakes us if you haven't really thought through your greater yes. So I would say these 2 things. Know what you want to add to your toolbox. Be very specific about it. Don't be vague or I just want to get better, and don't pick 10 things. I think that's hard to keep motivated for and to stay accomplished. And then I would say, you know, really try to reinvent yourself. Every summer, try to add something as a professional or as a player to really be different when you join your team back after the offseason. And then just always know your greater yes. Why are you doing what you're doing? It isn't just the skill set. It isn't your greater yes isn't just, I want to be a better basketball player. But what about how do you want to impact your team? Why are you doing this? What is it that makes this an important thing in your life? Because if it's only making you a better basketball player, it probably isn't going to go very deep. But if you see that as an opportunity to build life habits that are going to be with you long after the ball goes flat, if you see it as an opportunity to develop grit in your life every time that temptation comes or that your fatigue comes, well, that's a chance to develop perseverance and courage and grit. You can't have grit without the temptations. And so if you can turn those things around in your mind, I think then you see it not as a long off season or not as a challenge or temptations, but as an opportunity. So reinvent yourself, add things to your toolbox, get a greater yes, and make sure you understand why you're doing what you're doing. That'll carry you through. Thanks so much for joining us for this week's version of Coach's Corner, and just to really appreciate you coming back week after week.